subscribers, internet strangers, what's up? All good things must come to an end, so welcome to the last bearded pickup video I'm going to record. With this GoPro Hero 8, wipe away the tears. Oops. That was awesome. But you can't even make that kind of stuff up. Wipe away the tears. You cannot get rid of me that easy. I'm like some kind of fungus on your toes. That's a terrible analogy, by the way. So it's Friday morning. School buses are coming. People are going to work, and I'm going to work. But Beard, you don't have a job. Yard sales are my work. They're my passion in life. What fun we're going to have today. So Jody wakes me up at 5:30 and says, "What time do you have to get up so you can go pick up Harlan?" I'm like, 5:35. Okay, it's 5:32. I'm like, why? How do you even know I'm going to yard sales? Okay, well, that's a stupid question. All right, so let's see what we can find today. Hopefully this day will be filled with wonderful yard sales because we got like 6. All right, on to the first one, right? You can't get to the last one and find all the good stuff till you get to the first one.
All right, welcome to the first yard sale. Camera volume, I didn't know how good it was going to be, so you get voiceover Beard today. So, and maybe a dog barking in the background. That little 12-week-old is a barking machine. So this yard sale, it was a sign we chased on our way to the first yard sale, so it was a bonus. And we ended up looking through some pans here. They had quite a few Wilton pans. There was only one that had any kind of value. There was a Superman from 1977, and it was all over the board used where it was selling. So Harlan spent some time looking through them and looking at, because each one of the Wilton pans shows you what year they are. So that kind of helps you determine how old they are and worth some value. There was a Winnie the Pooh. There was a couple dinosaurs like that one there. In the end, neither one of us decided to pull the trigger. You will see the phone come up, and we are actually, I guess we spent 8 or 10 minutes wandering through these things and looking them up. All right, so this was actually the first yard sale we were headed to. Now that we've gotten through the sign yard sale, we've been to this one before. This lady has one in this neighborhood every year. She has a lot of interesting stuff. As we come down here, we'll look at a few odds and ends. Harlan ends up picking up some kind of container, some kind of crafting container. He's done very well with those. He's got one. Those are fake headphones, whatever they are. There was not a lot of value to them, so I put them back. So I'm going to reach across the table here in just a second and pick up a memory card. I buy a lot of the smaller memory cards. This one was a 2 gigabyte memory card. They go in GPS units, so if you're going to sell GPS units, you can download the current maps because they're bigger than what the older GPS units internal memory are. But most of them have an SD card memory reader, so that thing was $1, so I bought that. And then there's also a Apple cable. It's for the older, like iPods and stuff. And I pick up every one of those I see, and a lot of times they don't have cables. So anytime I can find a genuine Apple cable for $1, I will pick it up. Just so you don't run out. And now I'm looking at a HDMI reader. It's some kind of reader that allows you to get TV on your. I'll show it to you here in just a second. It was $15. Yes, I can get the marker off. I have videos. I'll link one up above to show you how to get markers off. Hand sanitizer works great, but it sells for $80 new, and it was still new and sealed. All right, so there's a coffee maker under the table. They wanted $50 for it. It was still new. It has comps for around 65 or 70, so that was too rich for my blood. We wander around the table here and look at. There's a couple of the odds and ends. I had the camera too high. I'm sorry about that, but this is a Rubbermaid trapper sweeper of some sort. I scan it. There's not anything there, so I ended up typing it into eBay, and it didn't have a ton of value, so we move on. So this yard sale is right down the street. It's a community sale, so you'll see we'll end up at 4, maybe 5 yard sales in this community. Don't believe I picked up anything at this yard sale. I wandered in the garage and I picked up a few things to look around, but there's just not a lot of value here. So there's an old PC here. First of all, we're gonna look at this. It ends up being just a DVD player. So it's some funky ProSonic Pro something brand. No value, but this computer here is kind of interesting. It's an older computer, so old that the memory on it was only 512 megabytes for RAM. So I looked it up. Some of these older computers have some value. This is not one of those. So even for $4, we still just left it. Alright, so next up in the community, sometimes these community yard sales are very hit or miss, and this one is going to be another miss. So far today is not starting out great. I'm sitting at, this is the 3rd yard sale, and I've spent a grand total of like $3. There is a very nice printer. It's over here on the table. One thing I'll tell you about printers right now is they're extremely hot. There's not a lot of inventory in stores. So used printers there's always good money in used printers. This is an HP printer, and I actually bought the printer and noticed that the power cable was not behind it, because this printer is worth about $130 used. And I asked her if she had the power cable, and she said they had just moved or something of that sort and didn't have the power cable. So I ended up not buying it. Don't be afraid to change your mind. You know, you haven't left yet. I hadn't taken it off the table, and you know, she said, it's just a generic power cable, right? And I had to explain to her that this HP had one that has one of the special connectors on it, the little 3 little dots. And so thank goodness that Harlan actually noticed the power cable before I did, or I would have had a big printer at home with the power cable that costs like $18 that I have to order. And then I'd probably have to put ink in it too to really fully test it out. I'd have way more in that printer than I want to, so beware. Alright, walking down the driveway here. As you can see in the distance, these are a bunch of slide holders. And Harlan and I were both hoping that there's a bunch of slides and stuff in here, because there is plenty of stuff here that we could split this up and both do very well at auctions and other things and reselling. But alas, there were just holders. There were no slides in them whatsoever. So both of us decided that neither one of us were in. It was not a good thing to purchase for. Even though there's a few dollars in those items, we both have an overabundance of inventory. So yeah, that was a pass. Alright, so same yard sale. Harlan is looking at some kind of saw. I noticed there's a printer on the table with the box. And if the printer has the box, I'm always kind of interested in it. This is a very, very small frame printer. And he still has the manuals with it. He has a bunch of the cables with it, plus some Ethernet cables. He actually used to use this one for business when he traveled. So the packing material is still in the box. So for $10, this is an $80 used printer. I decided to take a chance. So this is, man, I spent $10. I feel like I'm winning at the yard sale today. All right, next yard sale. This one had a bunch of Nerf guns, and I don't know enough about Nerf guns. There were probably some money in them. If you look right at that lady's feet, there's a camera bag. Okay, so here's an interesting story. I've seen the camera before. It's a funky Sony. I'll show you a picture of it here. It was marked $20, so that's why I didn't look down in the bag. And pay attention, you know, kind of listen at yard sales, because the lady was also interested in the camera. And oh, cute dog, this guy's carrying his dog around. We see him at a couple yard sales. And the lady goes, you know, that camera is only like 2 megapixels. It's kind of old. But she was wrong. It's 5 megapixels. But it is kind of old. But it is a funky Sony camera. And we all know the Sony sells, right? So she says, I just want to get rid of it. All the stuff's in there. The power cable's in there. There's a bunch of memory cards and stuff in there. We just don't use it anymore. The $20 is negotiable. It just needs to go away. Okay, so pay attention to what people say. I picked up the camera after the lady put it down. There it is in her hands right there. She ended up not buying it, so I paid $10 for it. The power cords were $25, so, and the camera and everything, I should get $50 for it. Not a home run, but you've got to make, that's still a good sale, right? It's above my $20, what I like to make per item, so that's winning. All right, so this yard sale is where I spent some money. Walking up here, see those two shelves in the background, the two gray ones? Harlan's going to eventually pick those up. He got those for $5 a piece. They will go to the local sale here, the local auction. Those seem to do very well. He'll probably get $25 a piece for them at the auction, so that's a good deal for him. There's weeder there. There's I look at this sprayer. Not much in it. It doesn't really sell for much use, so we're going to pass there. But the big story is coming up. Okay, so as we spin around, Harlan is looking at these boxes. They are full of scrapbooking and stuff. And so there are 2 tubs and 3 boxes. They are just absolutely full of stuff. So there's the Cricut Expressions in there. There's 2 Sissic machines. There's one of them, so I'm gonna end up looking it up. It's got good value to it. So does the other one. Crafting supplies and stuff. There's money in it. So they're marked. I didn't see the marking. They're marked $125. So I asked the lady, how much is all the crafting stuff? Or maybe Harlan asked, and she said, I'm looking to get $125 out of it. I'm getting out of crafting. I've spent a lot more money than that. And the husband chimes in, yeah, I bet those boxes she spent $4,000 or so and all that stuff, and now she's out. He didn't seem too pleased with the fact that all that money. I ended up making an offer on those and putting that back in the van up here and getting all 5 of those boxes. Coming soon to the auction on the channel. Your opportunity to get some at a decent cost. I got so much of it. Man, there's everything from ribbons to cutters. Man, there's just tons of stuff. We'll lot it up, run it through the auction if you're interested in that kind of stuff. Hey, tune in on Tuesdays. Here is a blurb for the auction. All right, so we're still in the same neighborhood. We're just on the other side. This yard sale had a lot of stuff in it. Lady said she was moving, didn't want to take other stuff with her, but some of her prices, she's gonna take a lot of stuff with her. So we'll wander over to this bar table, not this one, and you will see that I pick up something that says brother on it. It is some kind of card reader for a sewing machine. And the thing, that's what made me interested, because sewing machines are very popular right now. And I look it up, and lo and behold, used, this thing sells for $100. She said it was new. How about 8? And I said, I'll give you 5. And she took the 5. So that is winning. And here is what I got. We missed such YouTube comedy gold. Damn battery died the last one. Y'all missed the best yard sale of the day. Those ladies were awesome. Just wait till you see what they got Harlan.
That row machine. machine work good out there?
Well,
That's why I stole the box.
we're saving.
You can't give me a good commentary on that?
You gotta
I think she
send
said it's regular about 250.
You gotta put together. Usually I get use post back.
So what is Harlan's specialty?
Kids.
All kids. All right.
All kids.
All right. Thank you.
That's that's not the top. Okay.
That was about as good as the thrift store.
Yeah.
All right, so this was on the side of the highway on the way back to drop Harlan off at his house. And yeah, most of this stuff, if I had it, I would just donate it. It was pretty damn bad. But overall, the day was a success. I got some lots for the auction. I got some things to sell on eBay. So, hey, that's a win, right? Got up, had a good time. Very comfortable today. Temperatures it was 59 when I got in the van. Oh, look how clean the van is. Have y'all noticed how clean the van is? And it's never clean because I have a car wash I can drive through every day. One of those subscription car washes. Hey, thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the last video recorded with the GoPro 8 because I'm going to sell it this weekend. The GoPro 9 will be the next video. I hope it's going to be great. Hey, thumbs up and roll Tide.